Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to overall talk on some stuff gaming related. More so, and here's the thing, like, I'm not trying to make it seem like that, oh, like, I have, like, a massive voice when it comes to like where a lot of people hear me out. But I do, the thing is this, I feel like that when I talk on something gaming related, it's no different than how the crowd is reacting to when a video game comes out. And it really trips me out though when you see it so often nowadays. A video game comes out, it doesn't meet the requirements that people overall want it to meet. You know, like for an example, because I was heavily talking on the one racing game, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. So just using that game for an example, that game comes out. People are like, they're drawn to it because they're like, man, the last time we played a test drive game that was like, it had us hooked was Test Drive Unlimited 2. After that, it just, they pretty much ghosted us, the company. Like, they disappeared. All of a sudden, they announced Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. People are gassed up for it. But they messed up when they decided to make the game online only. Not realizing that there's going to be people out there that's going to want to play this game offline. They might not have a good, like Wi-Fi connection or overall, like, and it might be a situation where they're far out in their house to where they can't connect their, and that's the thing where it's like, they assume because of how they live, everybody else live that way. So if they got good internet, everybody else in the world got good internet. Bro, what was crazy was that like internet like based games, I had to say they really started blowing up and popping off like when the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 came out. Xbox 360 when that came out, like in 2005, 2006. And I remember I didn't get my PlayStation 3 until 2007. So when I started playing games online, that wasn't until 2010. Now, hold on for a second. Let me just see when did online games start. Yeah, let's just see what that. The history of online games began in the 1970s with development of packet-based computers networking. The first online game was Mud 1, created in 1978 by Roy Trubshaw and Richard Bart, I think, at the University of Essex. So, alright, so yeah, it was this. Okay, so pretty much then it was like, what, 40 years until, it was 40 years until I had got into online games. So my thing is this, and I imagine that even them guys knew not everybody going, overall, like, have a, I guess some sort of internet to, play these online games. So that's why you seen where a lot, and I mean a lot, of single player games or offline based games, they start blowing up. Now, my thing is this, right? When you look at a lot of different, like, games where it's like, they're online now, but, like, because I have to say, like, Call of Duty, using that game as an example, like, it's an online, based game now. But when you look back in the day, people didn't mind playing campaign. People didn't, like, if we're talking like Modern Warfare 2, I had to say Modern Warfare 2 and 3 had probably some of the best storytelling in Call of Duty history. I'm trying to think, Modern Warfare 3, what was that story about? I remember they had some good missions in there, but I can't really remember the story. But Modern Warfare 2, I would have to say that was probably, in all of Call of Duty history, that had the best story possible. I mean, they had like their moments where it had you hooked. They had their moments where it was like the missions were just, they were amazing. Like, that's why when they came out with that remastered, it would have made sense if they would have added multiplayer to it, but they made sure of it that they released that story mode. Why they didn't release multiplayer, I have no idea. And it's crazy how it's like, that people would have loved to have played multiplayer. Then what was crazy, and that's something that I just don't understand too, that when modders take the time to make a game good, it seems like developers don't like that. Like that's something that tripped me out. So I guess there was some guy that was getting ready to work on the like a mod for, I think it was Modern Warfare 1, but it was a mod to re-release Modern Warfare 2, but the multiplayer mode and stuff. So it was, yeah, I think it was gonna have like all the original modes, all the original maps. Like this person went through the troubles of developing this stuff just to have it where the developers of Call of Duty said, nah, we're gonna shut that down. We're gonna send you a cease and desist letter because we think that's the best thing to do for our video game. But my thing is this, right? Do we or do we not own this video game? Do we or do we not own Call of Duty? So how are you going to tell us what, like, I get it if there are rules and regulations to like don't mod the game to make it to where you're gonna play better, but I feel like that having it where you're modding the game for it to play better, I feel like there's a difference between that. I feel like there's a difference of making it where you're playing better. Yeah, of course, I don't want nobody out here trying to, let me mod the game and I have invincible health, infinite ammo, and all this other stuff and then just ruin everybody's experience. How is that going to, my thing is this, talking to Activision or whoever it was that was behind that crap, how is that going to alter my experience in playing the game? If I go out and buy the game, download this mod, how is that going to alter my experience? I guess maybe have more fun? Because that was something that I had asked when they did the remaster for Modern Warfare 2. I'm like, why are they not? They've released multiplayer for 1, but they couldn't release multiplayer for 2. That don't even make no sense to me. But yeah, anyway, so they do that. And then, then there was this guy that was getting ready to make a mod, and then they just shut all that stuff down. And I'm like, I don't get why developers, they get so triggered or upset when people are trying to make your guys' game better. Rockstar Games did that stuff. I'm trying to think who else did that. But my thing is this, that I just know that Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Crown, the developers behind that, or publishers, whoever it is that's behind that crap, they probably would have did the same thing if people would have been all like, oh yeah, we're going to work on a mod to make offline mode and all this other extra stuff. To make it to where the game is better. That's something that I just never understood with that game. Every time when these guys make a post, that's one thing, and they're all like, oh, we're gonna add some stuff into the game. The one thing that people always ask for is offline mode. And and I know for something, me personally, I would have liked a difficulty settings just so it can be easier to do the races. But I'm like, it just seems like that developers nowadays, they just don't overall care. They don't want to listen to nobody. But what I really wanted to talk about are the people that get upset when you make some sort of criticism towards a video game that they're fond over. And I'm thinking to myself, fam, I don't know how you overall acquired this game. If you bought it, cool. If you didn't, well, I did. And now, my thing is this, if I buy a video game, all I want is to just have fun with that game. I can care less about any other extra stuff. I just want to have fun with a video game. Now, if I put out some recommendations, and that's the funny thing about it. So I remember when the game very first, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, when it very first came out, people, because that was something that I was recommending. I'm like, you guys need to add the difficulty settings and an offline mode. That would eliminate all your guys' problem in the game, right? So anyways, because I'm like, as far as gameplay, it's a racing game. I'm always going to love racing games. But I'm like, but how you guys are going about it, it's like you're trying to change the formula of racing games. And the thing is this, who asked for that? Who asked for the game to be online only? Who asked for the game? And you're thinking that, oh, everybody's going to have a good internet connection. Everybody's going to, they're going to have fun with this game. No, they're not. That's why the funny thing is, no, hold on for a second. Let's look up the current player count for that video game. Because I'm like, the player count, it just seems like it gets lower and lower. But anyways, Steam player count. This is just on Steam. I don't know how it is on whatchamacallit, Xbox and PlayStation, but on Steam, that's insane. 42 people are playing the game right now on Steam. And in a 24-hour peak, there only 161 players. So, and people are going to try to, no, this was the funny thing about it. So the game comes out. That was one of the main things I was complaining about in the video game. And there was people getting mad at me talking about, oh, you just a Forza fanboy. You just only want to, if you want Forza, then play Forza. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, because Forza doesn't force you to always play online. The crazy thing about it, so the Forza that they're comparing it to, because I know that may confuse some people, Motorsport and Horizon, they were comparing it to Horizon, because Horizon is pretty much like, I wouldn't say it's identical to Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, but they have like its open world elements. I'm just, explaining it to the non-gamers out there and stuff. So anyways, Yeah, so just to explain to you guys Forza Horizon real quick, Forza Horizon, they're not having it where they're doing some old, like, I think they do have some elements of some season stuff in the game, but talking on Forza Horizon 1 through 4, because I think that was kind of introduced in 5, like, because I have been playing 4 recently, and I don't remember seeing them do no season stuff in the game, so, but anyways, the funny thing is, you could play all those games offline. They all got difficulty settings. They got a gang of cars in each of them. I'm saying, like, the thing is this. Even in Forza Horizon 4 and 5, you name a car, they got it. Forza Horizon 3, I'm like, yeah, they got like a decent amount of cars in there too. They actually, I had to say, there were cars that they have in that game, or at least one car I can think of where they didn't have it in 4 and 5. And I'm like, dang, bro, I would have liked to have seen that car. But it was, if you've seen that Stephen King movie, Christine, the Plymouth Fury that there was in that movie, or that the movie was based on and stuff, that car, yeah, they had it in Forza Horizon 3. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, I'm like, fam, there's cars in that game. The crazy thing about it is, like, so they have like a decent amount of cars in that game, but overall, like, a lot of the cars are they're locked. So you can't even, until you level up in that game, you won't be able to drive certain cars and get certain upgrades. Meanwhile, like, all that stuff, it's all available day one when you start playing Forza Horizon 4, 5, or 5 more so, since that's the latest. But yeah, if we could just sit down and compare them two games. Yeah, the thing is this, they didn't have it where it's like cars are locked and all this other stuff. There's like, if you're playing the game and you're making enough money, you very well, and the crazy thing about it is that you can send cars to people. So I don't know how many times where people sent me cars, or I done sent people cars in that game. Because the thing is this, if you play Forza Horizon from like beginning to end, because that's the thing about it, the gameplay, the visuals, all that stuff, all good, all fun. You ain't having no struggles. You ain't got to worry about people joining in on the game. None of that stuff. You're having fun from day one of playing that game. I still play Forza Horizon 5, and I'm like, because there's still a whole lot of content that you have to do in that game. But the crazy thing about it is that, so they have it where, because I think what the most expensive, let's just look up both games real quick on Steam, and just to see how much it costs, like, to get the DLCs for Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, and then the DLCs for Forza Horizon 5. But yeah, let me just open up the Steam pages. So to get the premium edition, it would be $99.99, and then to get the gold edition, it's $79.99. Here's the thing. Dang, and that game is at a mostly negative rating right now. And then Forza Horizon, it's at a very positive, and I think it's in the top rating section on in the racing section. Yeah, the top rated. Hold on. Yeah. Forza Horizon 5. It's in the top rated section. So my thing is this. And that's something that I've seen, was that I guess the developers is trying to compete with Forza Horizon, and I'm like, fam. And then they also say they trying to compete with Grand Theft Auto 6 when that game comes out. My thing is this: they're gonna make sure of it that they're listening to the fans on what they overall want for that game. But I feel like with Forza Horizon, to those that were all like, "Oh, you just a Forza fanboy," yeah, I am gonna consider myself a Forza fanboy, because they made sure of it that they released a fully functional, working video game. Ain't had it where I had to unlock parts in cars just to play the game, or I had to be a certain level to unlock that stuff. No, they had it where it's like, if you got the money for it, you can get whatever car you want to get in that game. And that's one thing about it, is that any car that I've bought or gotten in Forza, like, yeah, there's still cars that I need to drive and stuff, but let's say, yeah, if I have the money for it, yeah, let's say I got $30 million in that game, and I think I do got $40 million in that game, but anyways, I have the money to get them that Koenigsegg Agera or Koenigsegg Jesko. They don't have it where it's like, oh, you gotta be a level 20, 30, 40, 100 to get that car. No, if you have the money to get that car, you can very well buy that car. So that's one thing about it. It's like when people are trying to like criticize my criticism towards a racing or towards any video games, it's like, I'm doing it because I want this game to be good. I'm not trying to have it where I'm out here buying games and these games ain't good. So that's what it's like with people. They need to understand is that I'm not trying to criticize a game to upset you. I'm criticizing the game so the game can be better, so a game can be made for all audiences. But it just really trips me out when they get mad about that type of stuff. Like, I can even think on other games, Acela Corsa Evo. That's a game where I'm like, and now look, ain't nobody even talking about that game right now. Because I'm like, the funny thing is that if nowadays in video games, and it's something that I remember, what was that song? It was Wesley's Theory. and it's a Kendrick Lamar song, but there's a part in that song where he's talking to Dr. Dre. Let me see if I can bring up the lyrics of that song, and then after that, I think I'm going to in this episode. But anyways, Wesley Theory, I misspelled Theory lyrics. Okay, there we go. So, all right, hold on for a second. So, where's that part where he's talking to Dr. Dre? So there was all like, "Yo, what's up? It's Dre. Remember the first time you came to the house? You said you wanted a spotlight mine, but remember, anybody can get it. The hard part is keeping it." And that's the thing with video games, and people don't understand. It's like, yeah, you can get that like successful name where everybody's gonna be hyped for the game when it comes out. The thing that people need to worry about when releasing a video game is maintaining a higher advantage than everybody else that's in that genre, or just overall in all video games. But my thing is this: if you're releasing a video game and you ain't trying to listen to nobody, then don't be surprised if your video game fails. And that's why I'm looking at games like Assetto Corsa Evo, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. I'm trying to think The Day Before. That's a video game where I'm like, that's a prime example of a failed video game. But people don't want to hear stuff like that because they're so caught up in, oh, let me try to get on the developer's good graces and say all these different good things about the game. And I'm like, yeah, you guys gonna be the main reason why that video game fails. So that's why I'm like, yeah, people, y'all gotta stop doing that. When a person criticizes a game, like that's something that I don't get to when I go and criticize a game on, cause no, I just actually seen where one developer, he was actually responding to people on Steam, get mad at them for criticizing his game, and I'm like, okay, if the game ain't good, then bruh, fix it. That's you expect people. How much is that game? Hold on for a second, because I did wishlist that game, because I'm like, the way that developer is defending that game, I'm like, nah, let me see about this. But anyways, yeah, if you charging $17.99 on sale and then $19.99 full price on this game, it's like people spending $20 of their money on your game, and it ain't good. It's like, bruh, don't be surprised if people ain't they gonna say bad things about it and stuff. But yeah, it's just, it trips me out. But no, like on Steam, like I'll go and give a game a bad review and people want to put like the clown emoji next to it and stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, come back in about a few months and see if you gonna be saying the same exact thing that I'm saying. Because yeah, if you're not, then yeah, maybe it's just me, having this odd hatred for a video game. But my thing is this: I feel like the people that defended Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown when I very first had started criticizing that game, they're most likely not playing that game anymore, because then they realize like, oh well, dang, maybe that guy was right that I was arguing with and stuff. Even I remember when I was criticizing Destiny 1 being better than Destiny 2. People were trying to argue with me over that, and it's like, fam, it ain't up for an argument. The game is better. It's like that. My thing is this: the reason why I say Destiny 1 is better than Destiny 2, because if it wasn't for Destiny 1, Destiny 2 wouldn't even exist. So I'm like, you gotta look at how much of the foundation that game had laid out for Destiny 2, and then look what Destiny 2 did. It became this game where they put out all this content, took away the content, made the game free to play, but then charged all this extra money for the DLCs. And I'm supposed to look at that as normal. Meanwhile, with Destiny 1, the game released, they ain't changed nothing. They ain't took nothing out. They did come out with DLCs, and amazing DLCs at that. And look at how successful that game was. I guarantee and I promise you, if Bungie were to do that, re-release Destiny 1 with all the DLCs on PC, that game would do much more better, and I hope they do one day. I really do hope that they remaster. Matter of fact, I think I am gonna make a video saying that Bungie needs to do that. If it's like, you guys want to save your company, remaster Destiny 1, put it on PC along with all the DLCs, like the Legacy edition, whatever they called it. I guarantee and I promise you that would do numbers for Bungie. All right, so anyways, and that's the thing, when I do these podcast episodes talking about games, or I do YouTube videos talking about games, I don't do them for the games that get hate. I do it so the developer, it's like, yeah, if you feel a certain way by what I've said, I'm like, all right, I guess I apologize for how I worded things. But overall, it's like, you guys gotta understand that it's like, okay, it's like I'm spending money on your guys' game. I'm expecting a good game. It's like, that's like you go and spend money to go see a movie and they're only showing you the credits. You gonna feel a certain way about that. It's like, nah, bro, I'm trying to see the whole movie. I ain't trying to see parts of it and I gotta come back months later to see the rest of the movie. That ain't normal, bro. I feel like a lot of times nowadays with games, games, it's like developers just be trying to take an easy way out. And I'm like, can't be doing that. Not in this day and age with gaming. And I'm like, because there's going to be a lot of video games. I feel like when developers is doing stuff like that, you get bad ratings. Don't say nobody didn't warn you. All right. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.